name is Candy Flat Spin. Yeah, just mind trick. California roll. No avocado. Need courage to try it. Like kick, sky, and waiting for make a flat to body. Spin for 3 times. I have to count of myself 1, 2, 3. I cannot see around my eyes, so I have to feel by my body. Spinning, I'm thinking about is this good or bad, and I thought it's good. So I go to run. I go to like 540, 729, 10. Avocado roll is maybe a new trick for in future. And I'm going to maybe 1440 flat spin one day. California roll and avocado roll. It's combo trick. It's hard one.
He's a 2-time X Games gold medalist looking for his 3rd. Oh, huge rocket. You know, coming into this event, everyone thought that Eito was pretty much a sure thing, 1080 California roll. But after that run we just saw from his younger brother, well, Takeshi looks like the one to beat.
Yeah, he talked about changing his lineup. He wants to do the double backflip 180 into the double backflip.
That'll be impressive. Not enough speed. He landed too low. Now here's the double backflip, but that's not the way he wanted to do it, and going down.
Just a subtle little bobble coming down from the double backflip 180, and it cost him his run.
Well, I guarantee what Takeshi did in his run is in Eito's head right now. Takeshi put the pressure squarely on Eito, and you know he's thinking about it. This is very, very interesting.
Now think about it. With a fall, he still did a double backflip 180, a 1080 California roll, a 720 flat spin, and just missed the double backflip. I mean, that's absurd.
Eito wanted to link the double backflip 180 into the double back. He wasn't able to do it, and look what happened on this double backflip. For some reason, was not able to hold on to it, went down hard on his hip. Can't even see exactly what went wrong. It looks like he's landed okay. He's able to roll away from it. I think that he was just not in the right kind of focus for this run.
A testament to how unbelievably dominant he is, even with the fall. He threw so many big tricks, he sits in 2nd behind his little brother.
Let's take another look at this run. Yeah, Eito fell, but when he was good in this run, he was great. The 1080 California roll, and look at the amplitude. This is how he started the run, easily 11, 12 feet, trying to keep up with his younger brother and easily holding his own. And look at this high air right into a 1080 California roll.
Eito's down with Paul right now.
Eito, a little bit of difficulty there on a trick that we know you can do. What happened?
Yeah, I have a pressure for in this competition because my mother, my sister, and my girlfriend, they coming.
The family member he should be most nervous about sits on top. The brothers will battle it out in round number 2. You don't want to miss it.
Mountain Dew presents Next at X. Tonight at X Games 9, in aggressive inline vert, last year's gold and silver combo, the brothers Yasutoko take flight. The hills will come alive with the sounds of in downhill BMX. And will unleash the human skipping stones at Long Beach Marine Stadium, wakeboarding. That's tonight, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on ESPN2.
That all you got? Come on, man.
Going down.
11 a.m., Venezuela meets Mexico City, Mexico on ESPN2, followed by Tokyo, Japan versus Saudi Arabia. Then at 3 Eastern on ESPN, Richmond, Texas meets Wilmington, Delaware. Now, let's head out to the ramp.
We're ready for round number 2 inside the Staples Center. It's aggressive inline vert. Nobody in the sport has a better run put together than this guy, Eito Yasutoko, with the biggest tricks in the sport. But his younger brother Takeshi did everything right in round number 1. With huge amplitude, he made the best of what he does best, which is amplitude and huge tricks on the coping. Right now, young Takeshi Yasutoko sits in the top spot. Everyone's playing catch-up. It's really no surprise that he earned an 85 the first time around. Anthony Avella uses this 120-foot ramp better than just about everybody else.
Well, you've got to play to your strengths. What he lacks in amplitude, you know, and as I said, he starts out with a couple of huge airs. That's about 8 feet, but he makes up for it in line. Look at this, all the way over the clamshell, backside Royale. That's the best incorporation of this unique ramp that we've seen.
Landing right underneath the coping. That's what you want to do when you come in from every trick.
And now look at that, working those bold extensions. So Anthony not shying away from the unique elements out here on this vert ramp. Now, if there's any fault in his line, it's here in the final moments as he loses the amplitude and the run sort of peters out in terms of excitement. You've got to maintain that amplitude and that excitement for the full duration of the run. And Anthony's run gets a little weaker in the second half. If he can maintain a run that has the energy and the line and the excitement that it starts out with for about the first 20 seconds, then he'd be doing very well for himself. As it is, this should be a pretty solid run, but it's going to keep him in the middle of the field.
And he's got to be happy with that fakie 9 to finish things off.
All right, so he starts out like gangbusters. I mean, we get on him for the amplitude at the end of his run, but he starts out with huge airs. This air right here has got to be about 8-9 feet. So we know he can do it. There's no excuse not to finish out, unless it's just very poor conditioning. But no one puts together a line as well as Anthony.
A small improvement, but he stays in 5th place. Well, Sam Fogarty, very unpredictable. Didn't actually expect some big new tricks out of him, but he threw the 720 flat spin in his first run of competition. So if he can stay on his feet, he's going to move way up.
Yeah, he starts out with a lot of amplitude. It was on this next wall where he had some trouble in the first round. Look at the airs out of the clamshell. So that was intentional.
Boom.
Get a little squirrely as he runs up into the air with a scare walk, but he stays on his feet. That's the important thing. Full extension on the 540. Did an invert on the 540, right into the invert.
And you now are going to expect him to do some big tricks on the coping.
Flat spin 720, so he's not done in the air, but here he comes. Now he's setting up on the coping.
Yeah, this is where he normally excels, being a park skater.
Frontside Royale down the clamshell, so he's done an air variation off that clamshell. Also now getting a grind on it.
Creative use of the ramp, now going back the opposite way. They're getting really low in the topside acid. Fakie 9 to finish it off, but way down in the transition.
So Sammy made it out of the clamshell okay, but then on the very next wall, he got kind of squirrely in the air doing a scare walk, but he stayed on his feet, so it didn't hurt his line too much. And then the flat spin 720, great looking trick from Sam Fogarty. And he incorporated the clamshell in a couple of different ways. First he aired out of it, and then he came back and hit it with the grind. So nice use of the course.
Well, big improvement, as I said. He now sits in 6th. The Spaniard, Nel Martin, had it all going on in the first round. He right now is in the bronze medal position. And he still did not show a couple signature moves.
Well, and he also knows that he can't relax with this score because Sesor, Tig, and Mark all fell in their first run, so he knows they're going to be gunning for those podium spots. He needs to create a little bit of cushion. Huge 540. Oh! And this is not good.
Wow. Big bummer from Nel Martin. He did the double backflip in the first run. He didn't really do the method Viking flip the way he normally does it, and he left room because he also didn't do a couple big flip tricks over the 900, and he's not going to get him in here.
Well, yeah, it's too bad because he was in perfect position. He had a very, very good first run score. He was already sitting in third place, and so he has a lot of room to take some chances, but now falling down is just going to kill this run. This is certainly not going to be his high score.
Well, there was one of the big grind tricks he was going to try, but couldn't pull it off. I'm sure very flustered after that fall.
So very early in his run, start out with a huge 540. You can just see landing a little bit too low on this huge ramp, and with the kind of amplitude these guys are getting, that's a lot of speed and a lot of momentum to come down with, and if you don't land high on that transition, it can just be too much to hold on to. Nel's got the big tricks, he's got the double backflip. We saw it all in the first round. You know he wants to run with these big dogs.
Well, all he can do now is watch as the heavy hitters try to bump him out of third. And one guy who's definitely got the tricks in his arsenal to do just that, it's Mark Englehart, who had a rough time the first time around.
I'll get it back in the second run. Don't worry about it.
Back on the 120-foot vert ramp here in the Staples Center for the aggressive inline final. Takeshi Yasutoko threw out a veritable knockout punch in round number one. Eito Yasutoko is going to have to be stellar in the second round to knock his brother out. These two are virtually unbeatable. He sits in fourth place right now. He said he was not feeling any pressure. He just wants to come out and skate the way he knows he can. You're going to see big things from him on the lip.
Well, and Nel Martin left the window wide open. Sven's got a great shot moving up at least a spot and trying to take a podium position here. Big airs. Setting up for one of his big combos. Abstract 540 right into an abstract 720.
Now he wants to do the fakie 9 into some difficult lip trick variations. You're going to see that in a minute.
Well, wow. Spinning 360 into the sole, over the hip, and now watch how he's going to come back. True spin, Ali Mizu. He just killed the hip on those two combos.
Here we go, fakie 9. He's got to get enough height.
It was a good landing.
Boom, and out.
So Sven definitely going to improve on his first run score. Bodes very well for him, and he just might be moving up a spot or two. Don't know if it's enough to compete with the Yasutokos, but certainly makes him competitive with Nel Martin's first run. Great run from Sinn Boomers. Took some chances and nailed him. Sven had a very smart run. He knew if he was going to compete, he had to do it on the lip. He can't really compete with those guys in the air. And look what he did here. Fish brain to backside rail. And now watch what he did coming out of it. A 360 completely blind over the hip into the sole grind. And now coming back the other way, true spin, Ali Mizu. He just obliterated that hip with those combos. But it was more than just grinds. He also worked the air, fakie 900 right into a technical grind combo. Very good lines from Sinn Boomers.
90.50. Surprisingly low score for Sven after that technical wizardry on the coping. Well, here he is, America's greatest hope for a medal here at the X Games, Mark Englehart, but things did not go quite the way he hoped in the first round.
Mark was nervous about the 900 coming into this event, and he's certainly nervous about it now after falling down in the first round.
Well, stoke the fire on the pressure cooker because Mark Englehart's got to let it all hang out here in round number 2.
Well, talking to Mark in practice, he said that 900's been getting him. It doesn't feel consistent. Huge tweak back on the method, right into the Crawford 540.
These tricks are all about a foot or two higher than the first round.
He just threw that flat spin 900. It's a new trick for him. Here's the forward 900, and again.
It's so tough to see him miss a trick that he's been landing for so long, and it's amazing how one trick can just get you.
Well, I think it's really got into his head. You know, it's interesting because he's so consistent on the 1080, and he's normally consistent on the 900, but he just started getting a little inconsistent for him. I think that kind of thing just throws. It's like once it gets in your head, you know, maybe I'm not going to land the 900. It really becomes a problem, and we can see it here. 2 runs in a row. Mark Englehart has gone down on the 900.
Going for a trick that he's made his own. The 540 flat spin disaster revert. But not sticking that either.
Mark knew what he had to do. This is the X Games, coming out flying high, tweaked back on the method. And he's able to sustain that high as he goes Crawford 540, throwing some of his distinct moves. And the new trick for him, that flat spin 900. But then here it was. This is exactly the same story as the first round, the 900, and for some reason he's going down to one knee. He's got to go back to the drawing board and get the kinks worked out of that trick.
A very frustrating day for the American, Mark Englehart. He'll do no better than 9th. Well, a disappointing day for the American Mark Englehart. The Yasutokos still to skate. They've notched up 2 very high scores, but 2 former X Games gold medalists, Sesor Mora and Takeshi, will try to unseat the Yasutoko brothers. We are down to our final 4 riders here in the inline vert final. Each of these guys has tasted X Games gold. Sesor Mora in 1998 with his huge signature spins. Eito twice in a row, 99 and 2000. Takeshi with a double backflip in 2001, and Takeshi Yasutoko with amplitude in 2002, and he is back in the same form you saw last year. Everybody's playing catch-up. Eito Yasutoko came out with the big tricks, but lacked consistency, so it's wide open going into round 2. A vert icon, Sesor Mora, has won X Games gold, but it was a long time ago, 5 years ago to be exact. But he's got what it takes to bring home some kind of a medal here.
Well, for the last couple of seasons, Sesor's been battling injuries, and he's not been skating at 100%. That is, until now, he looks like the Sesor of old, flying high with a lot of amplitude.
The first rollerblader to ever do a 1080, and he does it early.
Oh, my. So close to riding away from it. Looked like he was doing everything he could.
Okay, but he recovered quickly. He's back up. Not one of these runs where you have to go all the way around in 20 seconds elapsed.
That's right. It's very interesting because he didn't fall right down the flat bottom. He was able to pump out of his fall, actually, since he virtually fell right at the top of the transition.
720 into a 540. Lots of spinning variations. Oh!
Backflip.
Coming up short. So things a little sketchy out here for Sess. There's the disaster, the revert, and finishing off with a front flip. Not quite the way he would have liked it to go.
But it could have been a lot worse.
Indeed.
Sesor Mora not shying away from it in the middle of his run, early in his run, in fact, going for the 1080. He knew he needed to have it. And you can see here, everything he's got, spinning, he's got the rotation, landing high. But when you're doing that much spinning, so hard to keep everything together, roll in the right direction. He just got caught up as he rolled across the flat bottom, but fell so high in the transition that he was able to roll out of it.
87.50, the sentimental favorite, moves up into 5th. So there's only one skater left who has the opportunity to bump Nel Martin out of the bronze medal spot. He was the 2001 X Games gold medalist, was out last year. He is back, but his nerves of steel got the best of him.
Yeah, normally a gimme trick. The inverted 540. Very uncharacteristic.
Needs to hear the crowd, can thrive off of them. A true performer. He's done hundreds and hundreds of demos in his day and has been in over 100 competitions and taken top 3 in all but 4 of them.
9-10 feet to start it out. Good amplitude on those first few walls. Switching up on those Liu Kangs, and there's a trick. Much better result this time as he gets inverted on the 540. Now coming out Liu Kang 540, and you see him, he's hitting the coping a lot. Just means that he's not quite as in practice as he used to be, at least when he's competition ready. Just a subtle thing. He's not airing out in exactly the right place.
That was a gato spin.
Yes, having a great run. Inverted 540 in the extension, working those extensions. Backside far from Nugent, showing off some lip tricks as well.
Time wearing down with that
720. Garfunkel. So a much better run for Tig, and here comes the double back.
Didn't leave a whole lot of time or energy left to throw such a big trick where you need speed.
Taking a look from the Taco Bell fly cam, see him getting upside down inverted. This was a trick that he fell on in his first run. No problem here, the inverted 540. And look at how he keeps that height. And here's the Liu Kang 540. And it's so nice when you can throw those big tricks as setup tricks, link them back to back, throwing a lot of big tricks.
Well, things didn't go perfect for him, but they went much better. A 90.75, Ty Chris just outside the medals. And that means his teammate, Nel Martin, the guy that he spent years skating with, will walk away with X Games bronze. The hunt for X Games gold on the vert ramp is down to the 2 brothers once again. Takeshi Yasutoko sits on top. He worked the coping impeccably, but he also had the huge tricks like the Viking flip.
My name is Takeshi Yasutoko. This trick is Viking flip. Viking flip is not so spin, like a 1080, no, just a flat spin. But it's like, very fun for me. Second is method like this, very smooth. Yeah, I like a feeling. Saturdays, make it, land it. Just very easy. Viking flip, just do it.
He sits on top, but he can't hold anything back in round number 2. It's Takeshi Yasutoko when we come back. We're down to our final 2 runs. And how fitting. The sport has been so dominated by the Yasutoko brothers. Takeshi Yasutoko, only 17 years old, right now sits in the #1 spot. He is the reigning X Games gold medalist, and he's been doing it since he was 9 years old. Eito came out big and strong, and Takeshi's been following in his footsteps.
The Yasutoko's legacy will be measured not only in terms of wins, but also in terms of impact on the sport. Vert skaters now have to go higher and perform more dangerous stunts, and is due in large part to the skating of Eito and Takeshi Yasutoko.
Takeshi Yasutoko put together a stellar first run, but he is not going to hold back. He said if he had a perfect first run, he was going to throw a new trick that he's gotten very close to landing, the 1440. So expect it at the end of this run.
Well, I don't know how he could improve on that first run. It was perfect. Look at the height. Rocket, about 9-10 feet. Again, sustaining that height. Over 10 feet of Viking flip all the way. at the height of that air. So huge, so impressive.
Well, for the past 2 months, his brother Eito has been untouchable with the huge tricks. So Takeshi came out and did what he does best.
I think he's just setting up for it. He's not trying to do his whole line right now, and you can see it's in his head. Because already he has not done any of the lip tricks he did in the first round. They were so impressive. He just wants this trick now.
Here we go. That would be brilliant if he could put together that run plus a 1440, which I don't think I've ever seen.
This is all for glory. He's going to live by his first run score, and I don't blame him. I don't know how he could improve on that first run, but this would be history if he lands a 1440.
Oh! It is so great to see Takeshi Yasutoko, who's not known for having the finishing trick, going for something new, because you know very soon he's going to be landing that trick.
Just like we saw in the execution, here it is in real life when it's all on the line. Look at that height. That's about 11 feet out as he gets upside down with the Viking flip. This is Takeshi's signature move. Tweaks it all the way back. He's got his back to the ramp. So impressive. And look at the height on this. Look at the amplitude. That is one of the highest airs you'll see all day, and it's a Viking flip, no less. And then here he goes trying to make some history. A 1440, never been landed.
That is ridiculous, how fast he has to wind up for that.
But it's not going to happen here today. Landing on his knees, he was a little slow getting up, but he is all right. And what a day for Takeshi Yasutoko.
Well, that second run was a throwaway, but a 95.75 is the mark to beat. Eito Yasutoko has won the last 3 pro competitions. He's got all the big tricks. He can make it happen. In the first round, though, he had trouble. These tricks are so difficult that he went down on the double backflip. He's got to land everything right now. Paul's got some insight on top of the ramp.
Mark, I was just standing by with Eito. I stood there next to him. I said, look, if you stick your run, are you going to win it? He said definitely. So he's confident. If he sticks it, he expects the gold.
And I think that it's going to come in the form of that line, trying to come right out of the backflip, double backflip 180, right into the double back.
Well, the Staples Center is on its feet. This is it. It comes down to the final run.
Starting out that huge amplitude, big with the rocket, trying to sustain that height around 10 feet, 9 or 10 feet. And here comes a 1080 California roll.
Nobody else can do that trick either.
And he's so confident in it, he can throw it so early in his run, it leaves all the rest of his run to throw these other big tricks that he's got in his back. Here he comes, double backflip 180. Pretty good landing, but no, he's not able to go right into the double back. He has to wait till 2 walls later. He sticks the double back. This is going to be very, very interesting for the judges. Provided Eito stays on his feet, flat spin, 720. He's throwing out all his big tricks.
He can't waste any walls out here.
But remember, he's not thrown a single grind hardly. So it's going to come down to Eito's big tricks versus Takeshi's monumental lip tricks.
I would hate to be a judge right now.
This is very, very hard. Eito's got more big tricks than anyone, and he brought him. 1080 California roll, the double backflip, a near perfect run for Eito Yasutoko. It's going to be very difficult for the judges. His family loves it. And now the only question that remains is which Yasutoko is going to take X Games gold.
Wow! So the big tricks that have propelled the sport so far, Eito Yasutoko puts them all in his run, and he's looking at X Games gold for the 3rd time.
Eito Yasutoko, you told me that if you stick that line, which you know you can stick, you were going to win. It's on the board right now, 97 plus. How nervous were you going into that final round?
Yeah, I was so nervous and still nervous now. So, and I had a try. double backflip 180 and the double backflip in my run. And I have to say thank you to my family. Thanks.
Eito, great to see you. And you know what? You've made history. You are the first inline male vert rider to win 3 gold medals at the X Games. It's a very special event for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
For the past 2 years, X Games gold has eluded Eito Yasutoko. But this year, he threw all of the most difficult tricks in the sport in one run and recaptured X Games